Coming up on ATV News,
parking restrictions all over Cache Valley. We'll tell you how to get through the winter without a ticket.
A local elementary school adds a new after-school program.
We'll show you how it's benefiting Utah State students.
And USU's gas team is taking boiling water for a ride.
Men's basketball versus Idaho State. But wait till you see what USU hockey did to BYU.
The snow's almost melted, but there could be more. I'll tell you coming up on ATV Weather.
It's all coming up on this week's ATV News. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Kelsey Keller.
And I'm Emily Landine. You may have to find a new place to park your car this winter.
Caesar Abbott shows you how you can avoid getting fined.
Annual winter parking restrictions in Logan are set to begin November 15th. Beginning November 15th, no vehicles can be parked on any street or city-owned parking lot between the hours of 1 and 6 a.m. The restriction is meant to help the city with snow removal.
Beginning on November 15th through the end of February, we begin overnight parking enforcement for typically, snow removal, in which case it helps get the plows into areas where normally they wouldn't be able to go.
There will still be ticketing even if there is no snow, provided that the restriction was violated.
The first couple days, on November the 15th and the 16th, we're going to go out and issue warnings to every vehicle that's on the street, just to let them know that it's a violation to park on the street between the hours of 1 and 6 a.m. And then after that, we're going to issue tickets to any vehicles left on the street after those 2 days. So we feel that 2 days is sufficient warnings, and we hope to cover pretty much all the city in those 2 days.
Caesar Abbott, ATV News.
The winter parking restriction will be in effect until February 28th.
According to exit poll data from this year's election, voter turnout fell from 6% in Cache County from 2008. That year, 61% of registered voters took to the polls. This year, 54.2%. Voters in Cache County overwhelmingly supported Republican candidates in the election, with Mitt Romney receiving over 82% of votes from Cache Valley residents.
This station wagon may have saved the life of Cache Valley resident Caroline Hendricks. She was hit turning left onto 1400 North across from Logan Regional Hospital. An ambulance took 3 passengers from the other vehicle to the hospital. They suffered minor injuries but are expected to make a full recovery. Hendricks and Logan City Police say the accident could have been much worse.
It's amazing how these accidents work out. A lot of people can walk away from accidents you would see to be absolutely devastating by appearance of damage, but they're okay.
I feel happy that my car is really ugly, but it's really safe. And I'm really happy that the PT Cruiser was also a really safe car, so that that family is safe also.
Hendricks says she wasn't on the phone or texting, she just didn't see the car coming. USU students are making a difference at a local elementary school.
I went to see how a new after-school program is benefiting children at Birch Creek Elementary.
I am not corrupt. I'm kid. This is
Students at Birch Creek Elementary are anxious to show off their reading skills. And that's because they've been working on their reading and homework at the school's all-new after-school program.
Students are staying, they're getting help. A lot of them have parents that want to help and maybe can't help them because of jobs, or just they can't assist them in the ways that they need it, and so we're helping with that. Students are coming back to class more prepared, which is helping them feel successful, and so we're seeing a lot of success that way.
Because of a grant, the school is able to run the program from 3:20 to 5:20 on weekdays. And although the program is new, already around 70 students are taking advantage of the extra help. And while the after-school club here at Birch Creek Elementary helps many elementary-age children with their homework, It also benefits elementary education students here at Utah State University who hope to one day become teachers in the classroom.
I'm currently a junior at Utah State and I'm studying elementary education. So for me this is like one of the most applicable things, and I don't think I could gain this like knowledge and experience in any other venue.
Ashlina is one of 4 USU students who help out with the program. They tutor students and in return get real-life experience for their future careers. It's a win-win situation for elementary education as well as higher education. Birch Creek administrators say they are looking forward to making more developments with the program as the school year goes on.
Just as businesses need customers to stay afloat, colleges and universities need students to be successful. Kelton Wells is live with us to show one school's battle with student enrollment and the steps they are taking to fix the issue.
That's right, Emily. It's a problem that's been developing for well over a decade at USU Eastern in Price. Since 2001, enrollments have dropped over 31%, and administrators say they've reached a critical point where something needs to change, or the school's future looks a little unsure.
Questions about the speech?
When Troy Hunt first came to the then College of Eastern Utah, getting students in the seats of his classes wasn't a problem.
Classes were full. I never had any problem. We'd offer a class, it'd fill, and I remember teaching 2 sections of interpersonal communication the first fall that I was here, and I thought, there's no way we can fill that full.
But somewhere along the line, something changed.
Classes that used to have 50 students in them now have 20, of which 10 to 12 regularly show up.
That's where Greg Dart comes in. He's the school's new Director of Enrollment Services, and he's already making big changes.
We really see a divergence in recruitment efforts as far as making things more streamlined, bringing in new technology.
It's really a simple equation. New ideas plus hard work equals success. And it's what administrators here at USU Eastern are hoping will bring this once thriving campus back to the top.
It's all part of a bigger goal, which is the 4 in 4 campaign that Chancellor Joe Peterson has announced, and that is that we will hit 4,000 headcount students in 4 recruitment cycles.
And early indicators show that the tactics are working.
Those who are scheduled for campus visits is up over 700%.
But in the meantime, professors like Hunt are left holding the bag, being forced to do more with less.
In addition to the 4 in 4 campaign that I mentioned, administrators are also working toward a closer goal that means that 1,000 students will have applied to the school by March 1st of this year. If they are able to accomplish that, it will be the highest number of students that have applied to the school in school history. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Kelton. USU Eastern is a comprehensive community college within the Utah State University system and has 2 campuses, one in Price and the other in Blanding, Utah.
When we come back, international students bring a little bit of culture to USU, and a local man discovers a new way to hit the slopes.
The recipe for boiling water, a lot of heat, H2O. But in space, it couldn't be done until now. USU students figured out how to do the simple in a complex environment, zero gravity.
In space, you don't have the air. You can't put a fan on your computer and cool it off that way. There's no air. So you need other ways to move it. With a little bit of water and putting a little bit of control on that, we think we can help things cool down more quickly. We wanted to see some boiling on a flat surface on a microscopic scale. We mount each of these inside a fluid chamber of its own and put it in the experiment frame. This goes into a boiling chamber.
We had 20 different cells full of water.
We can move our camera setup down to record a new set of boiling chambers.
So we could actually see the boiling take place as we were heating up the water.
Seeing what the bubble motion would do, because the bubbles go up, but in space we don't know that. So we kind of want to see where that happens.
We flip the power switch, turn some knobs on the experiment, and power travels from the power supply through the heating element. That gets us bubbling water.
We're testing.
And then basically we just have to get it to Houston and onto the airplane.
I think it was a really good exposure to what science really is.
Flying on the Vomit Comet, like words can't describe
You can't beat the feeling of just being weightless, of just losing the ground and not caring where it's at.
This whole experiment, when I first joined, I was like, what is this all about? But once working on it, it started to click. I got to do presentations, got to go down to Weaver State and do that.
While this project is finished, the team has begun another project, cubes with cameras inside that would take satellite images from space.
Today we want to welcome you to the annual International Fashion Show.
It's not very often you see international students dressed in traditional costumes like the ones seen here. But last Monday, several dressed up to kick off Diversity Week with the International Fashion Show. Students represented over 9 different countries and brought a taste of their homeland to Logan.
I'm actually international, I'm not from here, from Logan, so it was very interesting for me to represent a little bit about culture here.
It's my last semester, I'm graduating, so I decided to do something fun for this semester. Something like that would people remember me after graduating.
For whatever the reasons, whether it's just for fun or maybe an excuse to throw a backflip, these students left their mark at USU.
Cache Valley is full of interesting people. Brianna Bodley is outside to tell us more about one in particular who has touched the hearts of many in the valley.
That's right, Emily. And if you live in Logan, you know Bicycle Brent. I took a ride with him to find out what keeps him pedaling the streets of Logan.
A blaring bike horn. The first sign Bicycle Brent is right around the corner. Across Utah State campus, down neighborhood streets, and even occasionally up hills too steep to ride. Brent travels the valley saying hi to everyone he meets.
It really struck home just how much people love him.
They love him enough that in 2002, Brent was asked to carry the Olympic torch for Logan.
When he started entering, people in the stands were yelling, USA, USA, but when they saw that it was Brent, they started chanting, Brent, Brent, Brent.
Though his Olympic uniform was all white, Brent said colors make him happy, so every day he dresses in as many colors as he can find, starting with his socks.
Yeah, all bright things.
And once he picks his pair, come rain or shine, Brent mounts his bike and starts pedaling. This is one fixture of Cache Valley that people are happy to keep around.
Although most bikes in Logan aren't as decked out as Brent's, he loves to have the company. So if you ever see him and you want to take a ride with him, it's an interesting experience. Just grab your bike and ride along.
Thanks, Bree. That was fantastic. I always see Brent riding around, and when he smiles and waves at me, it just makes my day a little bit better.
With the winter season comes snow, hot chocolate, and powder surfing.
Ryan Humphreys shows you how a Logan local invented a new way to enjoy the slopes.
I just started building my own boards and started calling them grassroots boards, you know, back in '07. I've been pretty much doing it myself for the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, pretty much since the beginning, really. Like those guys were making some of their own boards, you know, and throwing their own graphics on them and experimenting with shapes at the same time. But I just started, you know, to brand it. Okay, this is a grassroots pow surfer, and these are all my shapes. You know, I started doing. I mean, a lot of those guys were just hand drawing their shapes. It took us years of writing and development to figure out what shapes actually did work. They're pressed, they're cut, they're routed, they're finished sanded. We hand screen print the graphics on the tops and on the bottoms of some of our bases. Meanwhile, over the past couple of years, other people are, you know, catching on and trying to start something similar, or, you know, building off what I started and trying to make their own company or whatever. And so it's like, I don't know, it's tough. It's flattering for one, because, you know, we created something that was really cool and that people, you know, took hold of and were really stoked on. And at the same time, you're like, well, I sunk, you know, decades into this, and then this person's just basically copying what I've done. You know, it's been growing organically since I started it. I don't have much money at all, and so the company has to grow itself. You know, I can't just dump a bunch of money that I don't have into this thing and force it to grow. Makes all the hard work and sweat a little more worth it.
To find out more about this new sport, go to powsurf.com.
Well, let's take a look outside right now. You can see it's looking chilly. We've got people in jackets and hats, but we're going to find out if it's going to stay that way. Katrina Warburton will have your forecast right after this break. Well, it's getting quite chilly outside. I walked to school in 19-degree weather the other day. It was so cold.
It is chilly, but hey, at least we don't live back east and we haven't been caught in the mess from Superstorm Sandy, right?
Yeah, that's true. Superstorm Sandy is actually, it might be old news, but it's actually really a big deal over there right now. If we take a look at over here with our pictures, Superstorm Sandy, it's this is before it was taken, well, before the storm hit, but it actually shows a lot of the boats and the docks that have happened and beforehand, and well, I guess now it shows afterward, where all the ships have just come on shore and they've hit all the they've hit all of the buildings, and it's just awful over there. If we move into our weather though, you can see that a lot of the into Utah, there's a storm that's coming over the top of it, and it's kind of hit us now, but it could come over after a little bit. Yeah, if we move into our map, there's also a snow that's coming down into Utah that could, well, I guess we'll go back into Hurricane Sandy. Okay.
Okay, wow.
With the snow, it could come over and hit Utah, but that won't be till later in the week. If we move on to our air quality map, maybe. We've got our Salt Lake City at 25, and then up in Logan we're at 49. So that won't be too bad, but we have had worse. If we move into our 5-day forecast, we've got today high of 44 and a low of 29. On Thursday, there could be a chance of a little bit of rain, but we will have some sun, high of 47 and a low of 31. On Friday, we'll be at 48 and back to possible snowstorms and rain, a low of 31. Saturday, the same, and then Sunday, it could actually be a little bit more snow, so, you know, get your boots ready, and it'll be high of 49 with a low of 33. That's it for your weather, and stick around for sports next. Thanks.
Hey Aggies, it's time for sports. In the past 2 weeks, Aggie hockey has taken on all 3 of their in-state rivals. Last Saturday was BYU's turn to make the trip to Logan. Period, and from then on, it was all Utah State. DeFontaine with his first goal this season, he takes his own rebound and buries it into the back of the net. Then, it's freshman Dagan Walton's turn. He picks up his first career goal. Nathaniel Cabrera, he was solid in goal for the Aggies, and the defense largely controlled the puck. Tempers flared. Here's Ty Johns with a big hit, and then Jordan Kerr with some pushing and shoving. But here's the big one, Matthew Rutherford. He would get a game suspension for the fight.
I don't know if I should talk about that. I don't want to endorse violence, but I don't know, it's probably the adrenaline from the goal and standing in front of the net. We were getting a little scrappy, and I don't know, it just felt like it was time to let loose a little bit.
The boys did all the work for me. You know, I had it easy, not too much work back there, and you know, they made it happen for me. So I appreciate them.
Oh, it felt great to do that. You know, at home and against BYU, and it just felt really good.
The Aggies continue their homestand with a 3-game weekend hosting the Beehive Showcase. We talked to the Aggies starting line about the big matchups ahead of them.
I'm most excited to play San Jose because they're ranked number 2 in the western side behind us. So It'll be a good game. It's always fun to play those top rivals.
I've heard a lot of good things about their team and how they're actually a really good team. So I'm excited to try and make sure we can take them out.
Basically, it just comes down to mental preparation. We're physically prepared. It's just how guys prepare mentally for the game, and what's key is just being ready to play every night. You can't take a night off.
After getting snowed out on Friday night, Aggie soccer was in Provo for the first round of the NCAA tournament against BYU. The Cougars got off to an early 2-goal lead, but Aggie midfielder Jackie Tillotson deflected a ball into the goal in the second half. It wasn't enough, however, to give the Aggies a win against their in-state rival. Aggie basketball picked up 2 wins in exhibition matches, but how did they fare now that their season record is on the line? Utah State basketball opened up regular season play when the Idaho State Bengals rolled into town Saturday night. Preston Medlin was solid for the Aggies with 14 points, along with Danny Berger, who showed off his versatility here with a pull-up jumper. Jared Shaw with the layup, he had 8 points and a game-high 9 rebounds. Then it's Medlin with a pass to Shaw, who misses, but Kyshawn Reed is there to finish it off. The Aggies won 56-48.
It was tough. It was a tough game. It was very physical. It was pretty sloppy, I thought, on both ends for us and for them.
They told our guys it's nice when you can still get a win playing not very well. And the reason we didn't play well was Idaho State. Like I said, they did a good job.
I wouldn't say it was more physical. I mean, I felt like we were fine physically. I don't know what it was. I think we just needed to work on getting the ball inside of the post more on that zone defense, trying to crack it from the inside and then working our way out.
The Aggies take on St. Mary's. It's a big matchup. Utah State football heads to Louisiana to take on Louisiana Tech this weekend. The Aggies are on track to pick up their first 10-win season since 1974, but it won't be easy. La Tech is ranked 19th in the nation, and a WAC championship is at stake. A win could help their bowl game hopes and set them up for a more prestigious postseason matchup. Well, that's all I have for you guys for ATV Sports, but we'll be right back with more ATV news.
This week, some students got the opportunity to show off some of their best photos. In celebration of International Education Week, the USU Study Abroad office is sponsoring the annual Study Abroad contest. Students submitted photos in different categories: people, places, and Aggie spirit. Other students can vote for their favorite.
There'll be one more day to vote on Thursday from 10 to 2. The display will be up in the International Student Lounge, and winners will receive various opportunities to eat at restaurants around town. The USU bookstore is also sponsoring some prizes for them, so we hope to encourage everyone to come out and vote for their favorite photos.
You can still check out the photos and vote for your favorite.
If I see anything wrong, I'll catch it as we go. Okay.
Students at the Merrill Kaiser Library are getting one-on-one help with their papers with a program called Right Now. Students read their paper out loud to a tutor who then helps them edit it. It's an opportunity to get help at the last minute.
Up to the writing center, and so I called the writing center to see if I can get an appointment, but I was too late, and they said that here in the library every Monday night that they do the same thing.
It's an opportunity for us as tutors to pick up a few more hours of work, which is always nice, but then it's also the opportunity to help students who can't get appointments in because we get really busy at the end of the semester. And so it's, I don't know, it's kind of fun because they're really quick sessions and you get to help a lot of people.
The next session is on November 26th at 6:30 in room 122 of the library.
From all of us here at ATV News, thanks for watching.
Have a great day.